So I am reluctant to talk about the Alex Pretti case because, frankly, I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point. It's the same thing that happened with Renee Good. You've got a whole side of people that are justifying the murder of this guy, and then you got a whole other side of people that are saying, you know, I don't know. It's just I'm just so tired of this because why can't people see that their brain is being programmed for the party, whether that's the left or the right? You're not being if you have critical thinking skills, if you have any ounce of thinking for yourself, you can't be programmed into whatever field or whatever box that the powers that be want to put you in. So if you're programmed or allow yourself to be programmed by the right, this guy Pretti got it coming. He's a soy boy. He's a leftist. He's an immigrant lover. He is a male feminist. He deserved what he got because he was ruffling the feathers of the authority figures. He didn't comply. He struggled. All right, so we can go down the list of the right. If you're on the left, it's just as simple as they're Nazi fascists. He's an angel. The illegal immigrants are all good, and we all need to keep the illegal immigrants. There's not as many points I could say about the left. And a lot of the people on the left, I don't even think they know what they're fighting for. I think they're all just reactionary, and they're all just joining whatever's trending at the moment. Some of them have a genuine belief, of course. But let's be frank, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that when the left has power, they're just as authoritarian as the people on the right. So this is what I mean. I am in the middle. I think you people on the left are a bunch of reactionary assholes, and you're a bunch of following sheep. The people on the right are a bunch of jackboot licking, obeying, follow the law, back the blue, I support the troops, sheep. But both of them are sheep nonetheless, in my opinion. So where does that put me? Where does that put my followers, my listeners, if you even exist, or people? There are people like me. I'm not saying I'm the leader. No, I'm not the leader at all. I'm just another one of many people who don't feel like they belong in this left and right paradigm that our powers, our rulers have created for the sheep to feel like our voices are making any changes in this imperialistic system that clearly benefits those who just have more power and money, and the rest of us are just given scraps and stuff to feel happy with, right? And then, but I shouldn't even say that. Like, we really should be united as a people, but they keep us divided, so we don't. So eventually, the pitchforks and the anger and all of the things that, inspire us, they keep us divided, so that energy does not go towards the actual problem that's happening. The actual problem are the people at the top. You look at this as a pyramid system. You got the working class, you got the managerial class, you got the military class, maybe the grunts and everything. Then you've got the media. Then you've got the CEO class. Then you've got the media. Well, the media would be underneath that because the media is like the filter for the CEOs and the rulers and the political rulers. Then you got the whole military-industrial complex, corporations, governments. I'm not saying it in the correct order, but if I was to draw you a pyramid, I could show you the layers of this rule that has not changed since the beginning of time. And a lot of Republican law-abiding, jackbooted people who like to lick the boots would say, well, there's a reason why there's a hierarchy, and that hierarchy has been around since the beginning of time because it works. Right, yeah, of course, it works for the people at the top, and the same systems of oppression that keep the most of us in the dark, those mechanisms have worked continuously forever. But when you have people that come out of it, like you have Jesus Christ, right? Well, he's not a person, he's something bigger than that. But you got Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Huey Long. You go down a list of people who broke out of this hierarchy, realized what it is, and tried to break it down and wake up the people. Whenever those people would crop up from the pyramid of power would react and it would kill them, right? And thus the continual hierarchy of power continues. The plundering of the working class, the little people, continues for eternity. It keeps going on because they have trained the slaves to be unimaginative and to not believe that there's something more than this. That this is how it's always going to be. This is how it always could be. But anybody who always has an alternative vision, conveniently, they end up getting killed by the system. And if they're not killed by the system, and yet they're touting themselves as the coming, for example, a lot of the MAGA people believe that Trump is that guy who's saving them. He touts himself as he's anti-swamp, he's anti-government, he's anti-elite, he's for the little people. These Orwellian propagandists brilliantly labeled him blue-collar billionaire, and so many people fell for that. I even believed it a little bit when I was young back in 2016, but as I got older, I said, that doesn't make any sense. Blue-collar billionaire. It doesn't make any goddamn sense at all. Especially when you find out that he got $500 million from his father when he died. And then he dodged a draft, just like all these other elites. They dodged a draft, but then they force all of the poor male population who have no influence to go into these ridiculous wars that only enrich the people at the top of the pyramid. And yes, there has not been a defensive war for a very long time. All the wars America has been a part of have been aggressive, offensive wars, which means basically, in simple terms, we have been the bad guys for a very long time. Regardless of what side you're on, you can admit that all of these wars that we've been involved in have been U.S. aggression. What else has it been? What else has all this been? Now, to go back to Alex Pretti, I think they murdered him. And now here's the hilarious part about the Republicans. Now, all of a sudden, the Republicans are not Second Amendment. Now, all of a sudden, they have every excuse in the book why it was wrong that Alex Pretti was carrying a permit gun that he legally was allowed to own, which also, by the way, in itself is ridiculous that you need the permission of your nanny state overlords to carry protection for yourself, while the very same nanny state overlords have armed goons to the teeth with their Kevlar armor, their assault rifles, shotguns, pistols, pepper spray, mask, armor. They're allowed to walk around in their armored cars, their armored vehicles, walk around and abuse us, force us out of our homes if you don't pay taxes. But if the little peasant boy is walking around with a little pistol in the back of his pants, oh my God, you terrorist! You see what the Republicans are doing? And yes, to be fair, and all of a sudden now, liberals and Democrats are all about, Second Amendment, when for years, Democrats are one of the proponent leading voices that want to completely disarm the American population so that we could be completely defenseless against the tyrannical whims of a federal government and state government. But now all of a sudden liberals are for it just because it's to defend some immigrants and kill a couple of ICE agents, right? So yeah, we could admit what the left is, but we have to point out as well what the right is as well. The right is also leading us towards that tyranny of a disarmed populace that's completely submissive and complacent to a tyrannical federal government that could do whatever it wants to you. So both sides of the fucking morons from the left and the right are for your enslavement. I do not know how many times I have to make this clear to people. I feel like I have to repeat this for myself sometimes. So both sides of the political aisle want our enslavement. They want us completely vulnerable to the whims of the government. When it's the right, they want you vulnerable to the whims of the right authoritarians. And if it's the left, they want you vulnerable to the left authoritarians. We have to stop calling these people left and right. They are both big government, tyrannical authoritarians. Left and right is an illusion. They are all for increasing the effectiveness of the federal government, the American government, and bringing us towards more of a surveillance state, a police state. It's just when it's their turn. See, picture this. Picture Lord of the Rings, right? Both of these sides are hobbits that have stayed in their caves for 200 years and have formed into their own little individual golems. The people on the right are like, no, I want my precious ring so that my authoritarian leader can tell you what to do. And then the people on the left are like, no, I want the ring so my leftist leader could enforce abortion and he could enforce vaccinations. No, I want my leader to enforce authoritarian jackbooted thugs to walk down your streets. They are both Gollum. So I don't even label myself. I am just somebody who says this entire thing is bullshit. You're all full of shit. You all want Big Daddy government. You all want the government to fucking tell us what to do, treat us like shit, hit us with some barcodes on the back of our ass, and itemize us in the great inventory and a great dataization. You see the Republicans, the next thing they'll do is they'll want voter ID, this ID, that ID. You're going to need an ID to take a shit. Every time you take a shit, you're going to have to... I'm joking. I'm clearly joking. But I'm just trying to point out how absurd this is getting. The next thing is going to be every time you take a dump, you have to report it to the government. So each time you take a shit, it measures how much carbon dioxide you've wasted in that moment. Oh, and that's a whole other subject, right? Here's more proof that Republicans and Democrats are all the same. Didn't you hear this week or 2 weeks ago that the Republicans and Democrats all voted against Thomas Massey's bill? That he didn't want there to be a thing where the government could enforce cars that are going to be made this year, next year, in the future to have a kill switch that will be connected with the federal government. So if you are a political dissident, if you are somebody the government deems a terrorist just because maybe you have a different opinion, or if you're somebody that they just don't like because maybe of your skin color, whatever that be, maybe at the time they don't like you because you're white, maybe there'll be another authoritarian regime that really doesn't like you because you're black or Hispanic, you name it. Or maybe because they just don't like your politics, as I said. Or maybe they don't like how you buy. Maybe they don't like how you use your money. Maybe they don't like how you eat. You name it. Now the government will have the ability to measure that, watch your every move. The data will be sent to the insurance companies, and they could shut down your car. They could shut it down whenever they deem necessary. Guess what? Republicans and Democrats, bipartisan, voted against Thomas Massey's bill to kill that. So they all want you to be under the control of the government. And does anybody say anything? Does anybody point this out on the Republican media? No. Does anybody point it out on the Democrat media? No. Nobody points this out. Because they're all for the enslavement of you. Every one of you. And you are all willingly giving it away. You're all willingly giving away the future of your children to these tyrannical psychopaths. Now let me tell you this. You're okay with the government measuring your carbon dioxide, measuring how much you drive, how much you eat, how you live, how much you spend. I have this to say. Let's propose this. How about we create a system that tracks every weapon that's created by the military-industrial complex and that is pushed by the politicians and that is used to murder and commit acts of atrocities in war? How about every single person that dies, we count that person in the blood count, and we attribute the deaths from the wars that we support to the politicians and the parties that support that war. So over time, for example, let's just say, for example, right, like Obama, let's say that he killed 800 civilians with drones in 1 year of office. So there'll be a blood meter that will show you how many people Obama killed, and then there'll be a blood meter that'll show you how much Trump killed. How about we track the amount of people that these people murder, oppress? Let's track all of the money that they steal from us so that they could support through our hard work the murder of innocent people around the world. How about we have a surveillance system for them? Why is there a surveillance system for us? We're not the ones going around threatening people for not bowing down to the hegemony. We're not the ones committing acts of atrocities. The government is doing it in our name, yes. So how about we start surveying them and watching everything they do and holding them accountable for their existence? But no, you're all cheering for us being under their surveillance, making sure that the system is more effective to tax us to death by every cent, to make sure the government gets everything it can out of us. You're for the government following us, tracking us, knowing our every movement, watching our every word on social media, putting us on secret blacklist with the FBI or the CIA if we have anti-government views. No, that's what you're for. But when it comes to murdering around the world, controlling everybody with the military-industrial complex, treating people like slaves, using corporations to oppress us and keep us with the same kind of jobs that everybody has, keeping us at a certain level, oh, you got nothing to say about that. Nothing to say about that at all. The political ruling parasitical class can do whatever it wants, but the rest of us, oh, we gotta live under the strictest rules. But those guys who go to Epstein Island and they fondle the little boys and girls and then they traffic the little boys and girls, they can do whatever they want. But if you just go around and you just fucking try to live your life, well, we're gonna measure your carbon dioxide and we're gonna say you're eating too much, you're driving too much, you're doing this too much. But there's Leonardo DiCaprio all the way over there across California wasting millions of gallons of oil with his private jet, and we got nothing to say about him. But all you little people, oh, we're gonna watch everything you do. We're gonna tax you to death. We're gonna oppress you. Thank you, master. Thank you. God bless America. Justice and liberty for all. Ah! Wake the fuck up. Wake up. I'm tired of this bullshit. Put your egos aside and see that the entire system is rigged for the big guys. God damn. I'm sorry. I am sorry. It's a bad day today. I couldn't help it. I just got fucking passionate.